Cravings for chips, fast food, junk food can feel overwhelming, but you can regain control. This session will help you take back that control from those cravings and choose foods that support your goals, whether that's losing weight or maintenance or just, eating healthier in general, whatever it is. And it's definitely worked for me using tapping because junk food and, chips and crisps and all those were really a problem for me for a long time. So you can see in the description box below some articles on how this works if you want. And for today, rate yourself on a 1 to 10 scale of how much you think your cravings are controlling you instead of the other way around. We'll check back in after the end to see where that's at. So that's it. All you do is tap it and repeat after me. Even though I crave chips and fast food, junk food constantly, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I feel pulled towards unhealthy food choices, I choose to take back control of my cravings and what I eat and when I eat it. Even though it's hard to resist these cravings for all the junk food, I'm ready to regain control over what I eat. I crave it all: chips, fast food, junk food, so much. I can't stop myself from eating all these unhealthy foods. These cravings are just too powerful. It feels overwhelming. It's like something takes over. I can't say no. I feel like I need fast food and junk food to be happy. I worry that I'm never going to stop craving all this unhealthy food. I feel guilty when I constantly give in to all the cravings. I'm in control of my food choices, even when cravings hit. I trust myself to make better choices, even in moments of craving. I am releasing my attachment to chips and fast food and junk food. I can satisfy myself with healthier alternatives when I'm actually hungry. I feel empowered when I choose healthier foods that support my goals. I trust myself to control my cravings and make mindful choices. I'm proud of myself when I choose healthier food. I can have those other foods once in a while. I just begin to release my cravings for them. I'm in control of my cravings. I feel confident in my ability to choose what I really want, not what I crave. I'm in control of my cravings and my food choices. I release and let go of all of these cravings for junk food, whatever's driving it. If I have cravings, it's what's good for my body more and more each day. I just make mindful, healthy food choices. That's my new way. See where you are on that 1 to 10 scale. Junk food as a craving is something that, like, as we begin to eat more fruits and veggies, whole grains, whatever's healthiest for your body, that is what you begin to crave. And not everything prepackaged is awful for us. And doing this session doesn't mean you can never have it. But truthfully, the more you move away from what you know is junk food, not just shelf-stable food, but actual junk food, the less you'll want it. Look, if you think to yourself, try not to make everything out to be a junk food either. If you keep reading that all oil or all fat or all this or all that is bad for you, and so you can't have your favorite dressing, and dressing is the way you eat your vegetables. Have your tray of veggies and your honey mustard, your ranch dip, whatever it is that you like with it. If you can swap it over to hummus, that's great. And of course, if you can make your own, then sometimes it is healthier because you're going to use either better oils for you or your body as you figure out which oils are best for you, or just less oil, and you figure out how to make it at home. I do say less olive oil. I've learned that if I put ice in my hummus when I'm grinding it down, it gives that smoothness. That's really what I'm looking for. And then just a little bit of olive oil at the very end. Then if I put, garlic and extra tahini and extra lemon in it is how I like it. And so if it's packed with flavor, then, a little less oil is fine. Or it's fine if I have chili. Sometimes I want, it's harder to get them out here, but something like Fritos. It's just that I've learned not to have the bag on the table or the bowl on the table. You can have some where I only get a small bag. Because it is chili night. I don't have them in the cabinet in the press to go to any time and grab it. But I've learned that if I'm going to have hummus, I can actually chop up not just cucumbers but bell pepper. I'm a crunch person. So when I crave junk food, if it's fast food, it's often because I've just waited too long to eat. So I'm super hungry. And so then if fast food smells good to me, I know you waited way too long to eat. As it normally doesn't. I can just sort of smell it. It's just, I don't know, smells very fatty to me, or smells very, which, it's not that I never eat it, or I do eat burgers, and I eat just not often at, tacos and whatnot, just not often at fast food places. But vegetables and stuff, I've learned, bell peppers, it's because it's crunchy. I like Fritos, and I like kettle chips, and I like really crunchy, noisy in my mouth thing for whatever reason. I just like the crunch and the bite down peanuts, and the problem is even nuts and whatnot. That's all well and good, except for I can sit down and eat an entire canister of macadamia nuts. That's not paying attention to my hunger cues. And also, if I'm doing that, I'm usually either it's because I'm eating when I'm fully distracted. They're just next to me, and I'm working on the computer, I'm watching TV. I've had to learn to kind of not do that, focus on my meal, or portion it, bring it to the, living room if I'm going to have popcorn, and that's it, like not back and forth. But also with junk food, then if I realize it's days and days in a row, then I know I need to sit with myself and say, what's going on here? Why are you craving this? And that may be important. If you realize you've got this down and you go from a 10, or you're really stuck, you can't even budge off 10, but you get from 10 down to 3 or 4, 1 or 2, and you're really stuck, is to figure out what other emotion is there. And is it a feeling of loneliness or anger, or I'm bored, and you figure out I'm bored with my life, I need some more hobbies or whatever, or I'm bored with my job and it's stressing me out and there's a lot of tension. And those are the kind of things when I realize that I'm I find myself willing to stop and go to the grocery store for nothing other than, okay, wait a minute. What is this about? Because normally I could just wait till I had, go to the movies or something like that and then get a bag of chips or, a small one. So I know it's kind of, that's all I'm going to, need to eat. So, yeah. And again, once you start eating more of that, and once I started swapping over to, like with hummus, it was always, cucumbers and this and that. But when I swapped over to bell pepper, or out here with capsicum, the big bell peppers, or I use what are the other? I can't think of the name of the long ones. But because they're crunchy, right? Then I can dip them through hummus, and I'm satisfying that crunch need, and so I'm not as likely to go off in the junk food and that kind of, and go down that rabbit hole. I mean, I can't, like I said, I just don't bring it into the house, and that makes that easier. But I also don't find myself at the grocery store because it's whatever that crunch is. Or I'm sure Dennis would tell me not to, but I'm a hard candy person. So if I'm that way, I can have it in my mouth for a while, but then all of a sudden I'll bite down on it. And there's something, same as ice, it's just satisfying to me. So if you figure out your thing is sweet or salty or whatever it is finding that alternative to, or a way to take something that is healthy, like if you say you really like sweet, is to find the sweetest fruits, like really try maybe mango and see if that can be kind of a way that you get all those nutrients and healthy vitamins and this and that, instead of stopping at whatever bakery or getting a milkshake or something like that. There are just lots of ways that we can, it's a matter of paying attention to what it is or why it is. It's sweet, it's salty, it's crunchy. And if you say, no, it's none of that, I just want that food, then sitting with it and saying, okay, is it really just junk food? Then we can continue doing this video, and that should break that, craving, that junk food craving. And if it's sort of junk food, but okay, you know what, I'm tired. I'm the only one cooking at home. I don't want to. I'm exhausted by the end of the day, and then maybe you figure out better meal preps or better, something along those lines, or prepackaged meals even that at least are easier to heat up, but maybe not as detrimental to whatever your macros, whatever your goals. If you count, if you weigh, if you look at carbs, you look at protein, calories, whatever it is that you do, everybody's different there also. So you can figure out kind of what works for you there. So anyway, hope that helps. And I will see you in the next video. Later.